Hey, Chancellor, my man, thank you so very much for being here. How are you doing today?
Hey man, I can't complain, family. Appreciate you for having me on. Uh, Big shout out to all the viewers out there. Y'all the real
Beautiful,
MVPs, man.
beautiful, beautiful. And you see, I truly appreciate your presence. And oftentimes, my man, I love to thank my guests for two things, okay? And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, Chancellor, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. Hey, Chancellor, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, just recently, I was on that same road, and this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. The mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. It was such a special moment that day for me. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing chancellor that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to say nope to you. You see, getting to read a little bit about you, the stuff that you do, boy, it's amazing. So I can say I got attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your philosophies, your insights, your journey, the impact your work is having. It's amazing. And I've got to say thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you so very much for being here. Truly appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
Appreciate you, family. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Beautiful. So let's get started. You say, Chancellor, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our
Mm.
conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Chancellor on the show is for the sake of the audience. They say, Chancellor, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, high opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, Chancellor, my man, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey, because right now we are just so curious. We want to know how Chancellor got here. Then, afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay,
For
Chancellor,
sure.
over to you.
Ready. So, Chancellor K Jackson is the name. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Born and raised. I played football, American football, vast majority of my life, and that was and is a huge part of my identity and part of my journey. So I played football all throughout high school. Earned the opportunity to play in college. Played all 4 years down at Stetson University. After I graduated from Stetson, I landed my first job teaching English to kids in China. So lived in China for about 6 months before things went left. And I was arrested and served 14 days in one of China's penitentiaries. Um, Deported from China, came back to America, and started writing my book, 14 Days, my first book, 14 Days in Beijing. Um, that went number one bestseller in three different genres. From that success, I wrote more books, started my publishing company, and now I coach people through the writing and publishing process. So, yeah, it's been a journey for sure.
Been a journey, I tell you. The one thing I can pick is your perseverance, your resilience, persistency, and keep going. That never giving up spirit. That's a beautiful one. So, I'm still a bit curious, all right? Tell us about the university you attended.
Okay. Well, Stetson University is a small private school in Florida, DeLand, Florida. DeLand is a small little city, little town. Really wasn't much to do, but we made the most out of it. Uh, Football was the only reason I was there, so that made up for the experience. And playing college football was a dream of mine since I started playing football. So I enjoyed every aspect of it. I got my degree in communication and media studies. Um, so yeah, Florida Stetson was it was an experience, a lovely experience for sure.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. So you mentioned that you wrote a book, but let's begin from here. What inspired you to start writing?
Funny story. Of course, with my degree being communication and media study, that's a writing intensive course. But I didn't know that beforehand. It was a rude awakening once I got to college. It's like, dang, I got to write paper for this. I got to write paper for this. This paper due when? How long this paper got to be? I was like, okay, I didn't know I signed up for all of this. And writing was never like a strong suit of mine or something that I enjoyed doing. It was like, well, I got to get this degree. So it is what it is. I just got to bite this bullet. So when it came to writing 14 Days of Beijing, I was hanging out with one of my good friends I grew up with named DeMarco Reddins. And he was a traditionally published author before we graduated high school in 2014. He was like, hey, bro, you ain't think about writing a book about the experience? I was like, wow, that's a great idea. I don't even know where to start, but man, that's it right there. I wanted to tell the story. I just didn't know how I wanted to share it. So he took it further, went to my notes, and my phone and left me a little outline. I just started filling in the outline. And for me doing that, I caught a flow or a feel for how I wanted to tell the story. So I moved from the notes on my phone to a Google Doc so I could finish typing it up. Um, and 4 months later, yeah, the story was written. And then just the next 6 months just spent uh, editing it up and just getting it ready for publishing.
Amazing, amazing. So can you tell us about the traumatic experience that you went through in Beijing? Did I pronounce that right?
Yes. Um, I got arrested on April 4th, 2019. As far as my specific charges, none of that was explained to me, so I don't know what my actual charges were. But I did get caught. Well, I didn't even get caught. They showed up to my apartment randomly one Thursday morning, and they drug tested me right there on the spot. I was pre-game, but mind you, before they drug tested me, I was pre-gaming before I was getting ready to head to this event. So for those that don't know what pre-gaming is, that's like before you go out with friends, y'all meet up at somebody's house and y'all have a few drinks and stuff, and then y'all go out. So I was just pre-gaming by myself in the apartment, right? Just having a little wine cooler, smoking a little cannabis, and I'm finna get ready to go to this event. 3 officers pull up to the apartment randomly. They walk in, question me about drugs, drug test me right there on the spot. And as soon as they pulled the drug test out, I was like, yeah, it's over with. It's OV. Of course, failed the drug test. They throw the cuffs on me. Uh, bounce around from precinct to precinct before I'm taken to the actual jail where I'm housed. And once I get there, I'm locked up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 15 men to one cell, 9 wooden beds, 3 soups a day. And all I had was a plastic bowl and a plastic spoon. I don't know how long I'm finna be here.
Wow.
Nothing, they ain't explained nothing. So it's like, hey, it's gonna be a journey. But
Whoa.
on the 14th day, they just randomly called me to come on. I'm here to tell you I did 14 days. They took, yeah, after I was released, they took me straight to my apartment to pack up the rest of my stuff and then straight to the airport where I was deported from the country. It was, of course, happy to be free and, you know what I'm saying, be heading back to America. But it's like 2 weeks, I done lost everything. And I got zero all over. Yeah, it wasn't nothing that I couldn't handle. And I was like, I got experience in education. And it's like, not just any type of experience. Like, bro, you was teaching kids on the other side of the world. Like, that's going to open up opportunities for you. So it's on the tail end of the school year currently. So just wait. I had to wait until the following school year to, you know what I'm saying, see what I can find work wise. Um, so, and then I started writing 14 Days of Beijing that summer, but that was great momentum going into the new school year. And once 14 Days in Beijing dropped, it had that success, that shifted and changed everything.
Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. That's a tough one, and thank God you came out of it. So, spiritually, can you talk to us about your spiritual life? How is it spiritually?
Yeah, so I always been spiritual, raised as a Christian. Also got introduced to other. Yo, yeah, my fault. My phone overheated. But what was your question?
Yeah, spiritually, like, can you talk to us about your spiritual life? You mentioned you're a Christian and you got
Yeah,
introduced
yeah.
to.
So I grew up Christian. My half brother that I grew up with, his father's from Djibouti, so was immersed with Islam as well. Um, Introduced to Ifa later on in life. So I've always been spiritual, and faith is very, very strong. Always had it. Um, it's, that's what carried me up until this point through football, through trying to find my identity out after football came to an end, uh, to going through that situation in China, just going to China in general, like taking a leap of faith just to move to the other side of the country just for an opportunity. Faith has always been strong. Definitely had to rely on the spirituality once I was locked up in China, because that's the only thing I had left that I can depend on. Everything else is outside of my controls.
Hmm,
Yeah, so definitely it played a huge role during that course of time as well. And even to today, with everything that I'm doing now, continue to work with youth, inspire and motivate them, inspire others to share their story. Yeah, man, it's been a journey for sure.
beautiful. I love that. I love that. So, being an author, how has the journey been so far?
It's been fun. Honestly, you couldn't have told me I would end up writing at whatsoever. But for it to just be an idea that was given to me, and I took the idea, ran with it, had success, and now I share everything that I've learned over, you know what I'm saying, the years when it comes to writing and self-publishing. Now I share that with others and encourage people to share their stories. I've worked with countless people. I've worked with countless people, but I've only had two see it all the way through. Exactly how my little formula for publishing books. And those two people that finished, both of their books went number one as well. One of the authors is 30-some-year-old male. The other one, at the time, she was 15 years old, still in high school. You know what I'm saying? Hers went crazy. She went number one for like 9 straight days. So
Wow,
it was just power. It's like, okay, Amber, you got you a little formula. Like, you know what you talk about a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Track record shows it. So I'm just continue to keep that foot on the gas and continue to market my service and, you know what I'm saying, push people to and inspire people to share their stories with the world.
that's a beautiful one. And I'm so thankful for what you're doing, making it easy for authors to gain their grounds out there. That's a fantastic one. So we have just one more question to go. All right. So let's get personal a bit. What do you do as an entrepreneur?
So a lot of different things. Of course, books, selling my service, coaching people through the writing publishing process. I also do car rentals. I rent cars out on the side. Content creating. That's something I started content creating in like consistently like 2022, I want to say. And it's it's a gradual grind with that. Consistency is key when it comes to the content creating.
Tell you.
Um, man, what? And most of my content is just me reciting quotes or inspirational messages or just words of wisdom. on a regular basis. And I also just started dropping tips on the writing and self-publishing process. So that's a new form of content I just started as well. Um, so yeah, I got my hands dipped in a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? But content creating, I say, is the biggest right now, just because that's what I'm putting a lot of energy towards. If you build a good following with that, that's gonna take care of a lot for sure.
I tell you, man, I tell you, beautiful. I love that. So to bring this to an end, Chancellor, for folks who are, getting started in becoming an author, publishing books, what are some tips or insights you would love to share with them?
For sure. First thing first, if you don't de- come up with a concept for the book, if you already have your idea for the book, then okay, that's now next step is to create an outline. And your outline will pretty much be your blueprints on how to go, you know what I'm saying, how to write the book. Um, when it comes to writing the book, and initially, just get it on paper. Don't worry about the punctuation, the grammar, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's just gonna slow you up, man. I I coach people to write it like you sending a long text message to one of your friends, like somebody you really close to, so you can be your authentic self. Don't worry about, you send a text message, you ain't gonna spell everything correctly. You're gonna use emojis. Send it just like that, just to get it on paper. Then once you got it all on paper, then you can go back and edit it and fine tune it. But that just helps you get the story written faster. Once it's written, then editing, come up with your cover. After your cover, your book description. After that, then it's pretty much you solid now. Now you just submit your manuscript. You can go through Amazon. You can go through Barnes and Noble. It's a long list of just platforms you can use to self-publish your book. Um, and once you got it set up, say, then you're a published author then the next workload is the marketing. So the two hardest aspects of the process is getting the story done, one, and then marketing it on the back end. Because it's like, okay, you done wrote the book, you got the cover, you got everything, boom, you done published it, and you don't tell nobody about it. If it was just for you to just this is something I want to do, I just want to put it out there and just leave it alone, for sure. Ain't nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But if selling the book is something that you passionate about, then yes, you got to market it on the back end, and then it's just gonna take due diligence with that. Just continue to put it in people's faces. Social media, can't go wrong with it. That's the best tool to market. It's social influencers on social media. Reach out to them, how much they charge for promos, and you can get a long list of influencers. You know what I'm saying? And don't shoot for the biggest ones. Shoot for the ones that got tens of thousands of followers or 20,000 of followers. You know what I'm saying? They have a following, but nothing too major, because then one, they're not going to charge you that much to promote your product or service. So you'll be able to reach a whole lot more of those versus you trying to reach the ones with millions of followers and, you know what I'm saying, hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah,
So yeah, for sure.
beautiful. And that was very insightful. Thank you for sharing that with us. So to bring this to an end, Chancellor, for folks who like to reach out to you, learn more about everything I've discussed, or even ask questions, how can that be possible?
Hey man, Google Chancellor K Jackson. You Google my name, everything you need will pop up, from my social media accounts, other podcast interviews I've done, my website, my books, the whole nine. So yeah, man, just Google my name. I'm very active on social media, so you can always reach out and connect with me on that as well. So yeah, just Google it, everything you need will pop up.
Beautiful. So that's going to be the end of the show, my man. Thank you so very much for coming. And thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you, my man.
Hey, appreciate you. Blessings.